What's up, everybody? I'm Jason from Half-Hearted Headache, and thank you for joining me for this video. This video, before we get into all the ins and outs and details and such, is to let you know that, unfortunately, I need to go on a hiatus from the comic. I've been thinking a lot lately, and a lot's been happening in my life, and these situations and these things are really pushing me to make this decision. Now, it's been almost 4 years since Half-Hearted Headache started, and really, Andrea and I started writing this comic back in 2008. We would start planning out this story about a guy who moved into an apartment building and met this girl who just broke up with her boyfriend, and they would be kind of at ends with each other, you know, the odd couple kind of thing. And then their mysterious friend Pepper, who was always part of the plan from my original college comic, would come in and bring a lot of mysterious, weird things in it, but mostly it was always going to be a slice of life. So in 2016, about September, October-ish, I decided that I really wanted to try to see if I could do this. And one of the major aspects of me doing this kind of long-form story-based comic was to see if I even could do a comic on a regular basis. I needed to prove that to myself before I could actually start the comic. So in 2017, I decided to do a comic every day for the entire year. Mostly things that I found were funny or journalistic diary type of stories, things that I saw in my normal life. And I thought if I could do a comic every day in 2017, I could start doing a narrative-based comic that took more artwork, more story-based, more prep time, things like that for 2018, and it started off fantastically. Don't get me wrong, I love doing this comic. I think it is my absolute joy. On the days when I got to do the comic, it brings me so much happiness and peace. And over the years, we got some amazing fans. And I have enjoyed talking with you. I've enjoyed working with you. We started the Patreon to see if we could get some people to help fund the comic. And we did. We got some amazing patrons to be on our Patreon, and they have really pushed me in those days when I thought, no, I really just need to take a day off. And I was thinking, no, you know, these people depend on me, so I really want to do it for them. So thank you for all that you've done. So why am I going on a hiatus? Well, in 2017, doing the comics, doing the one-panel jokes or the really bad art comics wasn't that big of a deal. The comics took me roughly about an hour to sit down and draw and letter and then post online. Unfortunately, because I want the comic to be good art, I want the story to be there, and I want it to be presented right, that typically a comic right now takes me 8 to 10 hours per comic to draw, to do all the artwork for. Then I put it into Photoshop for another 2 or 3 hours, and then I post it online. So basically what I was looking at was about, for 1 week, for 3 strips per week, I was looking about 30 plus hours per week just doing these comics. And unfortunately, by doing this much work, I've really let my business slip. That is what brings us to the major point here. Unfortunately, I haven't focused enough on growing my own business, and what it really comes down to is that my focus needs to come to my family and my business first. So unfortunately, due to COVID, my business lost a lot of business. This year was looking up to be the most prosperous year for my business, but unfortunately we lost almost all of that work. So I am needing to rebrand, and I'm going to be hitting my business extremely hard, but that also means I need to start taking it seriously, and I need to start taking care of my own health as well. So what does that mean for the comic? Well, I am not giving up on the comic. I love the story. I have written a very deep, intricate story with a lot more to come. However, I do need to put a stamp of done for right now on it, and then I will come back to it when I do have time. In the short run, I don't want to just leave it as is, so I've written up about 15 more strips, 15 to 20 more strips, where we're going to kind of leave the characters off on some cliffhangers. A couple stories that have been building up so far, I want to kind of put a little comma on it, a little ellipses. So when we do come back, we're going to be touching on those stories. In the meantime, what I really wanted to do, and if you've been following the comic for a while, I have done a couple AMAs, Ask Me Anythings, in the past, and they've been a lot of fun. But when people have asked more story-based questions or character background questions, I've skirted the issue because I didn't want to give too much away. On August 28th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on our Instagram, I'm going to be doing a live Ask Me Anything. You can ask me about anything, about the process, about the characters themselves, where the story's going, anything like that, just to give you a feeling that it will continue, that there is a lot more to come, but I want you to know that I do care about you, because there's nothing worse than being invested in a story for years and then just having it stop.
I gotta sing the Doom song now. Doom, 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 doom.
So I completely understand that feeling, so I want to give you a little bit of a fun cliffhanger. And this AMA is going to be live only. I don't want it to be recorded and replayed. So again, it's going to be August 28th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on our Instagram page. I'm going to give the patrons and a few of the commentators, these guys right here, I'm gonna give these guys first dibs on the questions. You guys can write in ahead of time, and I'm gonna be answering your questions first and foremost. So anything you wanna know, let me know, and I will answer those first. And then once those questions are all used up, I will have it go live to your questions as we roll. And I know that's not that big of a deal, but I want you to know that I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up. I love this story, I love the characters, I love the world we've built, and I feel that I need to focus less on my hobby and things that I enjoy doing, and more so on the things that are actually bringing in work, bringing in business. And as a business owner, I need to focus on that. I need to focus on making sure my freelancers and the people who work with me are getting paid and getting lots of work. I'm about to go into a whole rebranding process with my company by splitting it into 2 different companies. And I'm excited, I'm nervous, but it is going to take 100% of my focus to do this. So guys, I appreciate everything you've done over the years, from the patrons, not only giving their hard-earned money toward this project, but giving us your love and your wonderfulness in comments, and when I have questions and stuff like that, I reach out to you guys and you guys hit it back to me. I've been able to do some amazing sketches for you guys that I really love doing. And that brings me to my next point. The people I do owe sketches for I am going to be in touch with you. I know one of you we had planned out a giant sketch that amalgamated a bunch of months together into one piece. I have not stopped working on it. I actually have been working on it. I will get that to you. But the chunk of the time that I'm really concerned about is doing the comic itself. So that's what it boils down to. Comments on the comic, guys. I need you to know that whenever there was a comment on one of the comics on Tapas, on Webtoons, it just lit my entire day up. It could have been something simple, or maybe you guys looked into something a little deeper than I even looked into. It really meant the world to me that you took the time to read it, to like it, and to take the time to comment. It means more than you think it does. Creators put a lot of passion into what they create, and unless you hit it huge, there's no money in doing these. So it's all about the passion, and again, that brings me back to I want to keep doing this, but unfortunately for right now, I need to focus on what's best for my family. I love you guys. I'm excited about hearing your questions for the Ask Me Anything. Be brave, do anything. I will say, if you've been reading a long time and scrutinizing over small details, there is a world of hints in the comic that were never in the foreground, but possibly in the background. So there's a world of stuff that has not been brought up yet. So hit me with your theories, questions, anything that you want, and I will happily answer them. But thank you so much for the years. I will be back soon. Whenever I get free time, I will be interspersing some comics here and there. But again, like I said, I have about 15 to 20 more strips to do, and they're gonna leave off on kind of a cliffhanger. So I'm excited to do that. I love you. Again, thank you so much for reading Half-Hearted Headache over the years. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to starting back up again. Thank you.